to our top story this hour, and that attack this morning that police here are treating as terrorism. A man allegedly driving his car into a group of French soldiers in the Paris suburb of Levallois-Perret. To talk a bit more about that, I'm joined by Riccardo Dugulin. He's a senior analyst at Drum Cusack. I believe we have now got you back on the line. Thanks for being with us. Now, this is, isn't it, the seventh time the French security forces have come under attack this year alone, during, of course, a state of emergency. These are the very soldiers who are meant to be protecting people from terrorism. This is really setting nerves on edge, isn't it?
Yeah, it's quite the dilemma right now. So soldiers have been deployed since November 2015 to protect the general public, but they have tend to become a target as well. They are a target because they are tactically easier to single out from the general public, and because for militants who want to carry out attacks, these targeting security forces can generate some kind of propaganda victory as well. So what we have seen today and what we have been seeing since the beginning of 2017 is a worrying trend, and it is already leading to some very clear debates within the military and within the political sphere on how to best use the available security resources.
And it's bound to have an impact on morale as well among these security forces who are having to go out every day, put on their uniforms and face these very serious threats.
Yeah, that's exactly true. It's a very demanding job. It's a very demanding job from a manpower kind of perspective, because these are very tough missions, and they are over a long time. And as well, there are some aspects in which troops could be used in a more effective way on the territory, on the national territory. So this is a demanding job for the soldiers, and as well for the ranking officers. That's something that's creating tensions within the mission. Yeah.
And now the government has said today that this attack shows that France and its security forces are still very much at risk from terrorism. The government, though, still determined to end the current state of emergency in November and replace it with a permanent legislation. Will that make any difference, given that these attacks keep happening while we are in a state of emergency?
Well, we need to understand that the attack of today was very difficult to foresee with the means that are used. These crude attacks are very difficult to foresee. But the point of the government is to include several provisions of the current state of emergency within common law to be able to step away from the emergency side of the law and enter into a normal legislation. The point here is to stop having a reactive kind of policy and implement more proactive kind of security policies, and that's something that the government will have to start doing in the very short term. Otherwise, these kind of attacks will continue on happening.
All right, Riccardo Dugulin, thank you very much indeed for joining us.